Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the upcoming transit of Rahu and Ketu, which is going to be taking place on October 30. And in this video, we will specifically be looking at this transit from the point of view of Ketu, that what could be the guidelines or what could be the theme which Ketu can manifest through its journey from the currently transiting Libra sign to the Virgo sign. So guys, just because I wanted to kind of feel connected with this topic, so yesterday when I was there with my friend, we were doing shopping, and I thought, okay, I need to buy a t-shirt specifically for this topic, like which has something to do with the third eye opening, chakras, meditation, which is very easy to find in Vancouver. And my friend, she's a big Disney fan, and see what I'm wearing, a dog, Pluto, which is everyone's, specifically Disney people's favorite. All the 90s kids can relate with it. So yes guys, this is what the magic of Ketu is, which we will try to understand in this video. So first of all guys, when it comes down to the importance of Ketu, you must be wondering that definitely Rahu has got a lot to offer in the form of wealth, in the form of new opportunities. What could Ketu can give us? So understand it in this way, that if Rahu represents mirage, Rahu can create illusion. So the power of Ketu can be correlated with an iceberg. It might look little small on the surface, but deep beneath it has got very strong roots. It has got strong power. Like, it will not be an exaggeration to call Ketu as the eldest and the most powerful force amongst all the planetary vibration. So guys, definitely to understand first with the importance of Ketu. So like the way I always say this thing, Ketu represents your psychic awareness. Ketu represents your intuition. Anything and everything which is out of the realm of this world can be connected with Ketu. That is the only reason Ketu also represents the spirit world. And guys, even in our day-to-day life, I'm very much sure that if you are watching this video, so basis your religion, you must be a very devout, very religious person as well. So if religion is being represented by Jupiter, let's say for example, and let's take up the case of Hinduism. So even if you are an ardent devotee of Lord Hanuman, you might spend your whole life reading Hanuman Chalisa. Definitely it will guard you, it will protect you, it will kind of strengthen your aura. But when it comes down to the understanding the deeper nuances of that prayer, in order to have that psychic awareness of feeling the presence of the God which is being praised in that chant, you need to have a strong Ketu. Same way guys, when we talk about even for the Adhyatma or for spirituality or for renunciation, we say Saturn is important. Now why Saturn is important? Because Saturn can actually make you disinterested in the worldly pleasure, and also in the form of doing those penance and all, you need to be consistent enough. So Saturn can grant you that you can devote yourself for a very strong religious austerity for next 15 years. It can make you disinterested in the worldly pleasure. But even after that, even in order for those higher celestial beings to bestow powers to you, to be happy on you, Ketu is very important in your chart. So because of which guys, Ketu in our chart represents that window which can open up all these esoteric and mystical experiences in our life. Our ancestors, our forefathers, our guardian angels all are connected with Ketu. Like the way we say this thing, even in the matters of relationship, Rahu represents attraction. But once you have found that one person in your life, and then if you have to have that unconditional surrender and trust and faith on that person with whom you are going to tie the knot, Ketu is very important. So yes guys, that is the kind of role which Ketu plays in our life. Second thing is that guys, this transit is very important because right immediate after that, Rahu and Ketu are going to be in their strongest axis placement. Like the way after this, because they are always in a retrograde motion. So after Pisces, Rahu will enter the Aquarius sign, which Rahu co-rules as well, and Rahu has also got its nakshatra as well. And also guys, because when we talk about the nakshatras ruled by Rahu, Rahu rules Adra, which has more to do with creating chaos. Then it has got rulership over Swati, which has to do with definitely materialism, wealth, success, fame. But when it comes down to the strongest and potent power of Rahu, which manifests through Satbhisha. So immediate after this axis, Rahu will enter the Satbhisha, I mean to say Aquarius sign, and Ketu will move to the Leo sign, where you can also find one of the nakshatra ruled by Ketu, which is Magha. So the point which I am trying to say over here is that whatsoever adjustment you have to do, whatsoever karmic soul lessons you have to learn, this is the last call for that. Because whatsoever you will sow during this time, the best of that is not very far, because when Rahu Ketu axis placement is going to be in Aquarius, in Leo, that is going to be one of their best placement to bestow the celestial gifts in your life. And like the way, guys, I always say this thing, that there is one more point which I have mentioned over there, that if we have to talk about Ketu, so definitely Ketu represents purity, and all the transformations, all the forced changes brought in our life, somehow through them Ketu is also trying to realign or connect us with our soul purpose as well. So yes, guys, that is the beauty and mysteries and wonders of Ketu. Like the way I always say this thing, if I were to share my own religious discipline and practices and all, so there are a list of mantras which I recite every day in my morning prayers. On Saturday, definitely, because I keep fast on Saturdays, I have to do the prayers and Bij mantras, recitation of the planet Saturn. But if there is only one planet which I recite the Bij mantra of that every day, that is the planet Ketu. So Ketu is very, very important, no matter in which sphere you are in. It's not like that you have to be an astrologer, you have to be a spiritual seeker. In whichsoever field you are in, if you have to do something exceptional and you have to be attuned in this lifetime with something which cannot be understood with your sense organs, with the rationality, with the worldly entities, then definitely you need to worship Ketu, because it will open up the doors of some other dimensions, some other reality for you. So now, guys, before we will shift our discussion to the pointers which I have made in order to comprehend or understand the theme of this transit from Ketu's point of view, being in the Virgo, there are 3 points which you have to understand. The point number 1 is that prominence, because it becomes very important that how and in which conditions this transit will become important for you. Because guys, we cannot even overlook this fact that the whole energy of this year, like if we will make a sum total of 2023, you will get the number as 7. Universal energy is of 7, which is being ruled by Ketu in itself. So in which all circumstances Ketu is prominent in your case, we can say that Ketu is prominent for you. So definitely, if you are born on the 7th of any month, 16th of any month, or 25th of any month, Ketu is important for you. If your moon nakshatra is Ashwini, Magha or Mula, Ketu is prominent for you. If your moon is conjunct with Ketu, your Ketu is very prominent. If Ketu is placed in the first house and very strongly connected with the degrees of your Lagna, then Ketu is important for you. And let's say, for example, if your ascendant lord is conjunct with Ketu, then we can also say that Ketu is important for you. And lastly, I would say that if your Ketu is conjunct in your natal chart, and sitting with an exalted planet, then also we can say that in your case Ketu is prominent. Now, after knowing the prominence, second point is governing. Is Ketu right now in your governing condition, in your governing seat in your life? How can we get to know? That's very simple. If you are right now going through the Mahadasha or Antardasha of Ketu, or let's say, for example, you are going through a dasha of a planet which is conjunct with Ketu, then we can also say this thing that right now Ketu is in the governing condition. And point number 3 is that when we talk about the effect of the transit of the planets, so definitely guys, all these 3 things will be working in synchronicity with each other. So if Ketu is prominent in your case, that is 1 point checked. Second is it is in a governing condition as well, because its dasha is on, then 2 points checked. Then the external circumstances will definitely be showcasing the vibration and energies of Ketu in your case. The way we will discuss the theme of this transit, you will definitely feel the impact of that wheresoever Virgo sign will be falling in your chart. So okay guys, now we will shift our discussion to the customized, moreover the generalized theme of this energies of Ketu when it will be functioning on the ground of the vibration of Virgo zodiac sign. So guys, point number one is that past and karmic. So guys, as I have already explained this thing, that Ketu, which has everything to do with the past, Ketu which has got everything to do with the karmic energies. When we talk about karmic rewards or when we talk about karmic retribution, Ketu is the planet which is chiefly responsible for bringing the results of all of that. Whether they are good or they are bitter, Ketu only act as a conduit to bring those results in your life. And now guys, because Ketu is going to be transiting in the Virgo, so the way I look at this transit is that whatsoever your soul has been striving for from the past so long, the result of that could manifest during this time. And guys, because Ketu is a very liberating energy, so a lot many times, let's say for example, if you are very strongly rooted in a lifestyle, you're strongly rooted in those relationships which are not serving you any purpose, so I would say that Ketu can completely uproot you or kind of sever your ties from all those association, for all those attachments, in order for you to be serving the higher purpose. So yes guys, because like the way I have already mentioned this thing, the energy of Virgo is very realistic, it's very practical, there is a strong degree and sense of perfection attached to it. And Ketu's energy, when it will come over here, so whatsoever you have earned, your soul is carrying within it in the form of virtues, in the form of talents, in the form of cravings. And if any of your current obsession or your attachment is kind of coming in the way of that, so Ketu can definitely sever your ties pertaining to the matters of that house. Virgo is an energy with which also carries the 6th house energy of being overwhelmed with your daily work, with your daily responsibilities. So a lot many times, whatsoever purpose you need to serve, and your daily life is so much overwhelming that you're not able to take out time for working towards that. Now let's say for example, you have got a talent and you have got a destiny to be the greatest musician, and initially you were focused over there, then the family responsibilities started piling up, and in order to pay all the bills you just got busy in other side hustles in different jobs. But now Ketu is going to be transiting in the Virgo, and it wants your perfection, it wants your focus to be something where your sole purpose is aligned. So I would say guys that over here the degree and sense of rejection and denial is going to be very strong. So let's say for example, and it is equally applicable in all those cases as well, like let's say for example you are in a line of work where the degree and sense of expectations which your bosses and your company, your team has laid over to you, you are not doing justice to that, or you lack that degree and sense of perfection or that degree and sense of sincerity. So I would say that the rejection or being suddenly disinterested in something or being asked to leave, so these kind of circumstances and scenario a lot many people have to face in the house where Virgo energy is falling in their case. And definitely guys, if Virgo falls in your 10th house, in your 2nd house, in your 11th house, so in your 7th house as well, so even in your the field where you are operating right now as a part of your occupation, as a part of your profession, so some sort of very transformative changes or rejection a lot many people have to face if Ketu is prominent in their case, and if Ketu is right now in a governing situation as well. Now guys, the third point which I have written is that definitely which has to do with the perfection. Now guys, understand this thing, that in the original Kalpurush Kundli, or whether in the out of all the 12 zodiac signs, when we talk about perfection, when we talk about dedication, when we talk about sincerity, Virgo has got a league of its own. There is no other sign which could be as skilled, as handy as Virgo could be. Even within the Virgo, you can find the energies of the perfectionist nakshatras like Hasta as well. So that in itself means about that all those things which you have been trying to perfect, like this could be a case that you have been working hard for a novel which is not coming to an end, irrespective of you being putting uncountable hours in it. Or this could be some sort of scientific discovery, some innovation, some sort of mantra siddhi, or anything which you have been trying and striving hard to perfect. And if that energy is falling in that house where you are striving to achieve that excellence, so the energy and the transit of Ketu over there could be very supportive for that. Again guys, when it comes down to rejection, when it comes down to transformation or severing ties, Ketu is responsible for that. Only in those cases where it is not serving the higher purpose or it is not aligned with your soul purpose. But let's say for example, if you are trying to strive for that perfection in the areas which is completely aligned with your soul purpose, Ketu can definitely gives you perfection. If I were to say one common overlap between Virgo and Ketu, that is of perfection. That is the overlap between Ketu and Virgo. So I would say that capacity to attain perfection for something which you have been eyeing and working hard for long can be expected when Ketu will transit to the Virgo sign. After that guys, the fourth point is that extreme likes and dislikes. So yes guys, this is a kind of a area where Ketu can be a very unrelenting force. Now as you know that out of Rahu and Ketu, Rahu has got the head part of the body of the serpent. So that in itself means that all the brain, all the psychological turmoil, all the manipulation has gone to the Rahu side. Ketu only carries the intuition. Ketu only carries the feeling. So because of which, and Ketu only has got the heart. So because of which over here during this time, and when it comes down to Virgo, it is very practical, it is very realistic, it is very rigid as well. So because of which your degree and sense of likes and dislikes can actually go to its extreme. Now the good point over here is that you might have a very strong rational and intuitive reason for acting out like that. But yes, with this kind of entry of Ketu in the Virgo, in the house where it is going to be transiting, if you are already being a victim, if you are already being harassed or tortured in that house where Virgo is falling in, so your sense of dislike can go to its peak. And same is the way, if someone has been extremely nice to you and someone has done out of the way favors to you, and if in that house Ketu is entering, if in that house Virgo sign falls and Ketu is coming over there, so your liking and your affinity, your closeness can actually get very deep during this time. Kind of very soul level kind of connection can happen during this time where Virgo is falling in, and once Ketu will enter over there. After that guys, the fifth point which I have written is that definitely, because Ketu is a very spiritual planet. Ketu has everything to do with the granting you the spiritual powers, spiritual blessings. Now guys, over here, because like the way I mentioned this thing, that why we say that Saturn is required for to be in the path of religion, meditation or spirituality, because Saturn can make you very persistent, in your religious austerity, and at the same time disinterested in the material pleasure. So same way guys, because Ketu has everything to do with the esoteric side of that. Like that is the only reason all the tantra, all these esoteric practices are somehow connected with Ketu. And during this time, because Ketu is going to be functioning, operating in the Virgo sign, so it do not need much of the support from the Saturn. So you will definitely find a added sense of fervor, enthusiasm, focus in your those religious or spiritual quest, because Ketu in the Virgo might get very rigid, might get very strong in granting you, bestowing you, or motivating you in that direction. And guys, the last point is that aimless wandering. So guys, as you know this thing that when we come across all those cases where people have severed ties from their Kul Devta, from their family business, breakup in the relationship, transformation, starting fresh, but even after attempting all these things, not reaping any substantial results, not reaping any good outcome. So in those kind of cases, we can say that the energy of Ketu is operating, but on a negative plane in the life of these people. And guys, at the end of the day, this is somehow a very sensitive alignment, both from Rahu and Ketu's point of view. Rahu transiting in the Pisces sign somehow find itself little bit perplexed, because Rahu only has brain and Pisces only has mysticism to offer, and Ketu transiting in the Virgo also find itself little bit difficult, that now an intuitive planet has to deal with very practical, very realistic people. So yes guys, if this transit is not going to be operating on a higher plane in your case, like let's say for example Ketu is very afflicted in your case, Ketu is conjunct with a very impulsive planet like Mars, and also very sensitive signs, like they both are conjunct, but they both are conjunct in the sign of Mercury, or they both are conjunct in Cancer sign, in the Scorpio sign, then this can also lead towards unnecessary wandering, unnecessary severing ties without actually putting rational thought into it. So that could be one of the vulnerable side of this transit of Ketu in the Virgo. So yes guys, in this video I just briefly touched that what to expect, or what is going to be the theme of this transit for all of us. And definitely after this video, I will definitely try to make a customized video where we will try to understand the result of this upcoming transit of Rahu and Ketu for all the Lagnas, and with the successive videos we will also try to get deeper into the nakshatras and all those alignments as well. So yes guys, for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.